All right. Shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to Allah Akim, or just doing the work with sincerity and charity, with humiliation all across the four winds. To you I salute. This is the brother Karatazan today.
This is brother Desire one.
Right, and today we're gonna go into a brief lesson. Basically lambasting of the lesson I did the other day, going into Sirach 7 and 25. To giving your daughter to a man of understanding. All right, now I know that this is a sensitive topic, but like the Apostle Paul tells us, what I have not shunned to declare the whole gospel unto you.
That's it.
All right, now these are touchy and weighty matters, okay, of the scriptures. So I just want to go into it. But you could when you get time, you could go back and you could watch Sirach 7 and 25, okay, on GMS Bahamas, giving your daughter to a man of understanding. Like I said, this basically we're gonna be lambasting of that. But what we're gonna focus on in this session, we're gonna focus basically like on age gap. Okay, we're gonna focus on age gap. When I mean age gap, I mean in like let's say like a 38, 40-year-old, 45-year-old, touching a little, 15, 16-year-old. All right, and in society, we know that, we know that ain't right.
Right.
All right, that ain't normal. Okay, so that's what I am gonna, be going into, because the Bible constantly shut down, older men, much older men dealing with younger women, with purity. You see, with protection and honor, and not desire. You see, the scriptures don't is against that. You see what I'm saying? So we gotta treat our young women as daughters, as with purity, like the scriptures say. Okay, and this year again is going into age gap.
That's
it. You got something you wanna add?
No, go ahead.
All right. So the first precept I have here on deck is the book of 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 1 and 2.
This is 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 1 to 2. It says, "Rebuke not an elder, but entreat him as a father, and the younger men as brethren, the elder woman as mothers, the young as sisters with all purity."
Right. See here, the younger women as sisters with all purity. So a man, let's say in his late 30s, early 40s, mid 40s, looking at a 16-year-old with interest, or desire or lust, they violate this particular scripture, this command. All right, because she is regarded as or likened as a daughter or a sister, not a potential partner. You see what I said? So if you're looking at a young woman in that type of way, you're going off completely. Now, so like it says now, with all purity, right? Let's look up the word purity, brother.
Purity. It says purity, sinlessness of life. Then when you go
see that, read that again.
Sinlessness of life.
Sinlessness of life. All right. So this is going into a young daughter. I wouldn't say a child, but a teenager. Who is inexperienced, who is naive. All right, who don't have no experience about life and about being out in the world in general. You see, what else it say, brother?
It says the strong say cleanliness, the quality that is specifically chastity.
Right. See, going into innocence. You see what I said? So you're supposed to look at her as a daughter or as a sister. You see what I said? That's how you're supposed to look at her, not as a potential lover. You see? All right.
You want me to go a little deeper into the root word?
Go ahead, brother.
It says exciting reverence, venerable, sacred.
That's it. All right. So So yeah, man. If anything, you ought to look out. You know, for a young daughter
That's it.
or your young sister, because brothers in this thing, you know, have daughters.
Right.
All right, and me personally, I look at them, you know, as my niece.
That's it.
But yeah, the scriptures say, man, you know, deal with them as with purity. So you're supposed to look at them as your daughter or as your sister.
That's it.
You see, in that plain and that simple.
Don't look at them in a way how the world would portray it. Something that's a little like a piece of meat, you know?
Right. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, this year's righteousness. All right. So we ain't supposed to not be dealing with her like that. And if you deal with her like that, then that's completely out of order. And that's gonna bring problem and confusion.
Right.
You see? All right. So anytime you see things like that, the Bible call that evil, and that is something must be rebuked, and that ain't something to be, you know, tolerated.
That's it.
You see what I said? Because the scriptures is all about order.
That's it.
All right. Next precept I get, brother, is the book of Ephesians, chapter 5, verse 11.
This Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 11. And have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them.
Right. So this man, in a situation like that, all right, we ain't supposed to laugh it off or cast it behind our back, or even, you know, us brothers staying silent. You see what I'm saying? We gotta correct that directly. We gotta deal with that head on.
Right.
You gotta let them know, hey, listen, that is wrong according to Yahweh Shem Yahushai.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And this is why we going into that. All right. This is why, again, that's why I say we going basically, you know, into the age difference or the age gap.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? We don't even supposed to entertain that type of thought.
God.
The scriptures say what? But rather reprove them.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? You know, and for brothers in this thing, you know, who have daughters or who have teenage daughters, let me put it like that. Or yeah, teenage daughters. All right. We ain't supposed to give our children over to wickedness. You see what I'm saying? Because that right there, that's wickedness.
Right.
That's wicked. You know? You got something?
No, brother, go ahead.
All right. Because we're supposed to be dealing with principles and integrity. You see what I'm saying?
God.
So let's go ahead and back that point up. All right, let's get the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7. We're going to read verse 3 and 4.
Deuteronomy 7 verse 3. It says, Neither shall thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son.
Right, you see that? Now, this applies to the other nations,
Right.
but the principle still applies. Don't give your children to someone who's going to corrupt them or harm them or take advantage of them.
God.
You see what I'm saying? The principle still is the same. All right? A grown man pursuing a child is not righteous or fit. It just don't work. You see what I'm saying? And the scriptures is clearly against that.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
You know, and it's and especially in today's time, how we're in captivity, it in this day and time, that would look like you being a PEDO. You see,
That's
with
it.
society, you know what I mean? They only have to hear that young female, they look at it as something you being a pervert or a PEDO. That's how society look at it in this day and time.
Can't. All right. That's what it is. All right. And like that, the scriptures tell us to remove wicked people far from among you or from among us.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? All right. Now, again, like I say, this is a weighty matter. and this is a flicking touchy topic.
That's it.
You see, but nevertheless, it needs to come out. But with that being said, let's go to the book of First Corinthians chapter 5, verse 13, brother.
1 Corinthians chapter 5 and verse 13, it reads, But them that are without power judge it, therefore put away from among yourself that wicked person.
You see that? Therefore, put away from among yourself that wicked person. If that's a friend, all right, or if that friend is serious or he persists, all right, and well, it's just lusting after a young girl like that, the scriptures say what? Cut him off completely.
God,
You see what I'm saying? Because that ain't right.
God,
Okay? Now, we know the scripture speaks about um we could deal with younger women, right? Now, when the scripture speaks about the flower of their age, all right, we know that that's going into you know, a young girl that's having a period for the first time,
right,
right? But what you have to understand, back then everything was um 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 in a natural order.
God,
You see what I saying? So they never used to really see their menstrual until like later down, somewhere in their early 20s. But in today's time, okay, you have these children, all right, seeing their menstrual man flick as early as 8 years old.
right,
You see what I saying? That's because of the different foods and shit
right,
that they consume, and it basically force their body pretty much
hormones.
hormones, right?
Mm-hmm.
You see what I saying?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that, all right, that's what I was talking about. So back then, when it speaks about that, yes, that was okay because they was like more mature and more
Right,
body more full.
right,
You see what I saying?
right,
As opposed to today.
right,
All right, you talk to one of them child or children, they flicking body flicking mature, but
right,
then you when you listen to them speak,
mm-hmm.
they have a child mind.
Right,
Okay,
right. You see, young, young kids like in the primary school, in the primary school, they, man, they they would pass for basically cheering what kids what in the seniors.
that's it.
You know, if the person who actually don't know them, you see, that's how fast with time, everything evolved with these children.
Okay,
You know, so you gotta be careful. You know what I mean?
okay.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a judgment for harming or misleading the young. All right. Yeah, but Shimmy I don't like that shit.
Right.
All right. He have a serious gripe um doing that shit.
Mm-hmm.
You see?
Mm-hmm.
You get go
And
ahead.
Salakia, and it's so easy. We understand the scriptures, right? But in this the day's time, it's so easy, when you deal with it in an aspect to get criticized for involving yourself with, we're pretty much young girls in this day and time. People would criticize you right away and look at you like you's a wicked person. So it wouldn't be expedient in this day and time. It wouldn't be a wise choice to mess with that. You see?
God. All right. Let's get the book of Matthew chapter 18 and verse 6.
Matthew 18:6.
God.
Matthew chapter 18 and verse 6, it says, But whoso shall offend one of these little ones which believe in me, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, and that he were drowned into the depth of the sea.
Right, and this show you how the Most High takes protecting the young seriously.
Mm-hmm.
You see? This shows you how serious, all right, Yahweh Shem Yashai is about protecting his young. All right. Okay. He's serious about that. It shows you that.
Because if you want looking at her with purity, you're looking at for a piece of meat.
That's it.
So if you're looking at her for a piece of meat, then you just want to knock and, let her be on the books. Then what you can resort to.
My point exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So that type of action, that have to be rebuked. All right. And you also we gotta protect your daughter. All right. And also the scripture wants to separate from that person entirely. See what I said? All right, because according to the scriptures, we're supposed to deal with a young woman as in purity. So if you're dealing with a young woman with in the purity, then guess what? That's completely out of order. All right. Now, what are we gonna do? We're gonna go in a little bit deeper, and show you through the law. All right, how to judge a situation like that. You see what I said? All right, and we're gonna show you how age and marriage was handled, in the scriptures.
That's it.
You see what I said? Okay, because when you go in the scripture, dealing with a younger woman, all right, and a pretty much older man, I can say this, and this is in agreement with the scriptures. A father has authority and responsibility over his daughter. Period. See what I said? The holy scriptures, the Most High, give the father authority and the responsibility over his daughter. Let's go to the book of Numbers, chapter 30. We can read from verse 3 to 5 to prove that point.
Numbers 30 and 3, it says, if a woman also vow a vow unto the Lord, and bind herself by a bond, being in a father's house, in her youth, and her father hear her vow, and a bond wherewith she had bound her soul, and her father shall hold his peace at her, then all her vows shall stand, and every bond wherewith she had bound her soul shall stand. But if her father disallow her in the day that he heareth not any of her vows, or of her bonds wherewith she had bound, her soul shall stand, and the Lord shall forgive her, because her father disallowed her.
Right. You see that? Now, this shows that a young woman in her father's house, right, is still under the authority and covering of their father.
That's it.
Meaning what? No man could just approach or claim interest casually. You see what I said? The father got to be the one to govern access to his daughter,
Right.
not the man.
Right.
All right, so a man coming directly with desire for that man's daughter, that's already out of order structurally. Because what we just read in 1 Timothy 5 and 2,
God.
the deal, read that, pull that up again, brother.
This is 1 Timothy 5 and verse 2. It reads, the elder woman as mothers, the younger as sisters with all purity.
Right, because we have to deal with them with all purity. So if you go into a father's house to get his daughter with the intent or desire, you're out of order structurally already.
Right.
That said, Yahweh Shem Yahushai.
I get the easy English version in 1 Timothy 5 and 2. It says, speak to older woman as you would speak to your mother, and speak to younger woman like they were your sisters. Always be completely right and proper when you are with these women.
That's it. You see that? You always got to be right and proper. So guess what? Men are expected to deal honorably, not move around like a predator.
No.
You see what I said? That is completely out of order. And the scriptures is against that. Okay? So the precept I get to support that Let's get Exodus chapter 22, verse 16 and 17.
Exodus 22 and verse 16 to 17, it reads, If a man entice a maid that is not betrothed, and lie with her, he will surely endow her to be his wife. If her father utterly refuse to give her unto him, he shall pay money according to the dowry of virgins.
Right. Now, the key point is this, right? Even if something inappropriate happened, the father still have the final say.
Right.
Because remember the Most High, remember Numbers 33 to 5?
That's it.
The father still have the authority. All right, that man doesn't get control. The father have control regardless of the situation. As long as that daughter is under that father's roof, father have the last say. All right. So the father, according to the scriptures, right, he could say no, and that's the end of that. Or he could say yeah, and that's the end of that. Whatever his answer he give is final, because the Most High give him the authority.
God, I could break it down in easy English for you.
Go ahead, brother.
Numbers 30 and 3 to 5 in easy English, it says, A young woman who lives in the house of her father might make a promise to the Lord. She must do everything that she had said. She must do it. She must do this if her father does not say anything. But her father may say that she must not do it, then she does not have to do it. The Lord will understand why she does not do it.
God, you see that? Because at the end of the day, the father still have the say.
That's it.
See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the scriptures also give there was strict protection for young women. Okay, there was strict protection for young women.
Right.
You see?
Sirach, right? Since Sirach 25:7 and 25 we brought her, right? I went into the term in the AI overview of weighty matter. It says the phrase weighty matter generally refers to a significant, serious, or profound responsibility that requires careful consideration, wisdom, or effort. The term often appears in the context of personal conduct and social duties or the pursuit of wisdom.
God.
You see? It says, marrying off a daughter, Sirach 7:25. The text says, marry a daughter and so shalt thou perform a weighty matter, but give it a man of understanding. This implies that ensuring a daughter is properly married to a suitable husband is a major responsible and serious duty for a parent.
God.
So it's serious.
That's a serious thing.
Would lay especially on the father. So he wanna properly choose who's right for his daughter.
Properly vet that.
Right.
God.
That he have the certain qualities of the father, you know.
Right. You know, that's why sometimes, you know, they would have arranged marriages and all.
That's it.
You see?
That's it.
Between both families.
That's it.
All right. Now, also, again, going back to the different age gap, like a young woman who would be in a, let's say, a teenager, you know, and a man in his late 30s, early 40s, you know, that ain't same as normal, you know, dealing with a young teenager like that, because what you have to look at, for one, she's still young and she's still developing.
That's it.
You see what I'm saying? She's still vulnerable.
That's it.
And a righteous man supposed to protect that at all times, not target that.
Right. Don't be afraid to have vulnerability.
Can. You see? So yeah, man. So that type of mindset, we gotta apply wisdom to reject that type of mindset.
Right.
You see? Let's go to Proverbs chapter 1, verse 10, brother.
This is Proverbs chapter 1 and verse 10. It reads, My son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not.
You see that? My son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not. This applies here too. If someone bring a corrupt idea to you, you must reject it immediately. You see what I'm saying? Because it ain't lining up with the principles and the values with the scriptures. You see what I'm saying? All right. So that ain't gonna fly.
God.
Okay. So yeah, man. Um, when you look at the age gap in marriages in ancient times, right? Even though in ancient time marriages, could happen like when they were younger, but guess what? They were always structured. They were always like family governed. You see what I'm saying? They always governed from the family and also always selected through the laws. All right.
God.
So yeah, man. Um, yeah, man. Lord willing, man. You know, let me see. Yeah, Lord willing, we hope this lesson, you know, is edifying. All right. Lord willing, we hope this lesson, is edifying.
God.
All right, and like I say, this is also a touchy matter. You see, um, but we got to bring it out.
Touchy and a weighty matter.
Touchy and a weighty matter, right?
Mhm.
All right. So with that being said, gonna give all praises to
To
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Bahashim,
Bahashem,
Yahushai,
Yahushai,
Bahashim
Bahashem,
Makakodat,
Makakodat,
Shalom.
Shalom, and a Bible.
Blah, blah, blah.